This is Bloomberg Markets with Paul Sweeney and Bonnie Quinn on Bloomberg Radio.
Very excited to talk to our next guest, who is the CEO of Wild Alaskan. It's exactly what it says on the tin, literally. Arron, Kallenberg, thank you so much for joining us on the seafood industry, on supply chain and on business. You say it's up 4 times from the start of 2020. Explain to us how that manifested itself.
Thanks for having me. Just a little bit of background. Wild Alaskan Company is a monthly seafood membership service. We ship a curated box of wild caught sustainable seafood to members all across the country. And it's true, we have grown about 4x this year.
Oh dear.
Over 100, over 140,000 members. Obviously the pandemic has been a global tragedy, but Wild Alaskan is very grateful to be part of the solution of bringing sustainable seafood to members across the country.
So, Arron, give us a sense of just kind of take us back to maybe pre-pandemic, kind of how your business was trending, and then how it's evolved over the last 9 to 10 months.
Yeah, the business was doing quite well prior to the pandemic. I would say that we are now in a position we had planned and projected to be 3 years from now. So really, we've stayed the course. It's just been accelerated into a shorter amount of time. Nothing has really changed, in terms of our targeting, our ability to scale and accommodate, the subscribers is really a tribute to the Alaskan seafood industry, right? This is a fully domesticated product, caught and processed in the United States. So we weren't dependent on any foreign supply chains for the seafood or for our packaging material. And so we didn't really have any supply disruptions. It was business as usual, just accelerated. So,
Arron, I'm curious, has Brexit presented any opportunities for you, or is that something you stay away from entirely? Is there a way for you guys to help out with the fisheries problem, let's say, by providing your fish?
We don't currently ship outside of the U.S. It's something that's on our mid to long-term, roadmap, to start booting up fulfillment centers in other countries. But right now, we're servicing the American domestic market. I will say that, Alaska seafood in general is consumed primarily abroad. It's kind of ironic, Americans don't actually eat their own seafood, the seafood from their own backyard. Most Alaskan seafood is exported already. So Wild Alaskan Company is an attempt to get Americans to eat this beautiful, sustainable seafood that by and large they're ignoring in favor of farmed fish, that's being imported now. So quite the opposite from our perspective.
Yeah.
All right, so Arron, I'm what I know about Alaskan seafood and fishing is kind of what I watch on TV with the Wildest Catch or whatever it's called. These crazy people going out in this just incredible rough seas of the Alaskan waters there. Talk to us about the sustainable fishing market or the sustainable fishing business in Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska the seafood industry is really the global gold standard for sustainable management of seafood. My family, had a lot to do with that, actually. My grandfather was born in Manhattan, but he moved to rural Alaska in 1926. He began fishing in a wooden sailboat. And, he actually went back in 1952 to the East Coast and received a master's degree from Cornell University. He wrote his thesis, a study of the red salmon of Bristol Bay with particular reference to teaching its conservation. He eventually went on to serve as the chairman of the Territory Board of Fisheries. A lot of folks don't know, but Alaska actually incorporated as a state in large part to gain control of the fisheries over the federal government. And by doing that, they put a mandate into the state constitution, which mandates sustainable yield. And that has, over the years, produced the global gold standard for sustainable fisheries.
Wow, that is really fascinating. There's a book in there, I think, and Paul, Deadliest Catch is what you're thinking of.
Yes, thank you.
It really is. It can be a deadly profession. Arron, what were the types of things that people ordered most this year? And I'm also desperate to know if you've been approached by people that are looking to take you public through a SPAC.
So our most popular species is definitely the sockeye salmon. There's 5 commercially harvested species in Alaska, but sockeye salmon is the most popular. Most folks like to get some salmon in combination with whitefish, halibut, cod, sablefish, rockfish, wild Alaska pollock, but the salmon is really the cornerstone of the Alaska seafood industry. In terms of going public, we look at capitalizing the company in conjunction with our mission-based approach to accelerate humanity's transition to sustainable food systems. To that end, we are a private company. We're focused on stewardship. I often say Wild Alaskan is a 3-generation overnight success. Obviously, it takes capital to grow the company, but I think down the road the public markets could be a great place because a lot of the public is really ultimately aligned with our mission. Maybe more so than private institutions, but right now we're really just focused on stewarding that mission and building the best business we can.
That's really a fascinating story. Arron Kallenberg, thank you so much for joining us, CEO of the Wild Alaskan Company, based in, get this, Homer, Alaska, and Brooklyn, New York. Right now, let's go to